Yes, sir. Welcome back to Fast Break Bets. Presented by Betting Pros. You know me, know the voice, know the guy. It's me, really real, villain real, Terell Furman Jr. here at your service, I guess. I think my glasses are even messed up from that game. Like, oh my gosh. Let me take these off. These are even broken. I was in here breaking things. I I was in here breaking things from the day that we had on Thursday. I've had some bad days in betting. I've been doing this granted, okay, there's probably some people that are listening to this like this young dude thinks he's been doing this for a long time. No, I'm not going to say I've been doing this for a long time, but I've done it for a decent while, relatively for a while I have been living. This was one of the worst days I have ever. Oh man. Oh man. Let me compose myself while I play the drop.
How about if you sweep it out?
What's the point? I can't do anything right.
You'll do fine.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
Keep trying, Patrick.
SpongeBob, I guess I can try to keep trying. It was just really, really bad. It was bad. Oh for 4. But it's the way the 0 for 4 happened. Like sometimes, if I just had a bad read on the day, I can accept that. I had an 0 for 4 day because I had a bad read on the day. Man. Okay, so let's start with the one that was clear cut. We were just never. All right, Charles Lee, first year, he's going to be one of those first year head coach. Well, he's already done it, but he's going to be one of those first year head coaches that he just covers the spread. Charles Lee just does it. He covers the spread. It was never in doubt. I mean, they absolutely dominated Memphis from the start of the game to the end of the game. It really wasn't any footing that felt good about Memphis getting that cover. I guess Ja not playing meant a lot more than I would have thought it would have, but team just didn't get together. So that's cool. That's fine. Sometimes you lose the trend. It's cool. Like some people buck the trend. I'm perfectly fine with that. It's the next game and the Lakers because the Bucks had that game under control. Like I mean, fully under control through 3 quarters, and they proceed in the third quarter to get outscored 33-20. In the fourth quarter, I'm sorry, I think I just said third. In the fourth quarter, 33-20. In the fourth quarter, they get outscored to lose the game at the end of the game. Okay, so boom. All right, that happens. It's NBA preseason. We didn't bet too heavy on there. We was just getting some action. It's fun. And we were following the trend. It's all fun and games. Cool. Then we get to whatever that for game one was with the New York Liberty. Liberty were coming off rest. Lynx just went through that gruesome game 5. And yet, somehow, some way, the New York Liberty looked like they were the ones that went and played 5 games and were traveling to game 1. So the Liberty start off a 32-19 first quarter. Amazing. Like they hit everything. I mean, threes, Jonquel Jones got going. It was looking very, very good for the Liberty. This is why I tell people don't mush the bets until the game is over. Because, somebody could have took a victory lap. I didn't, but somebody could have took a victory lap after that first quarter. After the first quarter, the New York Liberty proceed to get outscored in every single quarter afterwards, including overtime. Not only that, in the fourth quarter, they had plenty of opportunities to put the game away, and Sandy Brondello with a dribble the clock out and take a horrible shot, and they let Minnesota back in the game. You foul Courtney Williams on a three-pointer for them to go up. You do all of this. The refs are literally trying to give you the game. I've never been on the side of the refs. Like, I've always been on the opposite side of the refs. Hence, the refs are terrorist t-shirt. Make sure you go get you a refs are terrorist t-shirt, by the way. But man, I just so the refs were doing everything they could to give the Liberty the game, and the Liberty still. So when it went to overtime, I wasn't mad. I was like, okay, we have another chance for the cover because if Brianna Stewart had hit that free throw at the end of the game, we wouldn't have got the cover. But then they just completely, like, it was ultimately a no-show in overtime. They didn't score until I want to say 3 minutes in overtime. Offensive sets looked terrible. It looked like they were gassed. And I'm just like, how are you gassed and you're coming off rest? The Liberty are going to give me a heart attack. And then I'm not even mindful. I'm watching the game. I'm not even paying attention to Sabrina hooking us on the PRA. Not even paying her any mind to the hook that she gave us on the PRA. And actually, let me go double check because I could have sworn she had an assist that they didn't give her. We might need to make an argument. We might need to make an argument for a stat correction here because I really feel like in the beginning of the game, go back and watch the beginning of the game. Maybe my memory's messed up and just drop it into the comments. But go back and watch the beginning of the game. Maybe my memory's messed up. But I swear Sabrina gets an assist to Jockwell Jones in the beginning of the game, which is like a foul. I think Courtney Williams fouled her, and it was a three-point play to start the game. And I'm pretty sure that was an assist to Jockwell Jones from Sabrina Ionescu. Maybe I'm tripping, but she didn't get credit for that. And if she gets credit for that assist, we cash. So we might need to make that argument. Somebody else check it out and let me know. Do I have an argument? Am I right? Or did I just lose? I'm perfectly fine just losing, but I'm almost positive. I have to go back and watch the game, but I'm almost positive she didn't get credited for an assist there. And I felt like that was 100% assist. So we'll talk about that. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. It was still a horrible day. Horrible, horrible, horrible day. So much so that, you know what? I'm not even interested in Thursday action. I'm really not. So I have a future for you and I'm going to give it to you in just 1 second. But first, I got to talk to you about Fantrax. Make sure hey, go take your fantasy league over to Fantrax. Move your fantasy basketball league there for free because they are just really, really good. They have a totally awesome dynasty format where you can get automated salaries and contracts to give you that real life feel. You can do draft pick trading, like the future. Hey, go trade a whole bunch of future first round picks that you're not going to care about because you're trying to win now. You can do that. Multi division leagues, you can have 200 plus managers in a league. Like, come on. More the merrier. Go sign up right now over at Fantrax, fantrax.com/fantasypros. And if you sign up right now, you can win an official Nikola Jokic signed jersey. Yes, you can, just by signing up. Just go over there, sign up, and get a chance to win. Do you know how much that jersey is going to be and when Jokic gets into the Hall of Fame or like way down the line? Do you know how much that jersey is going to be? You should like just go sign up and go get a chance for the jersey. At the very least, that's at the very least what you should do. But I think you should 100% take your fantasy basketball league there and play throughout the season. Of course, Dynasty, Keeper, Redraft, Best Ball, all of it on Fantrax, fantrax.com/fantasy pros. Oh my gosh. I'm still stuck over how horrible of a day that was. All right. Quick futures play for you. And I don't really want to, hold you up too much. Quick little futures play, get into action, cook up a little bit. So we're going to fade the Toronto Raptors. Toronto Raptors under 29.5 on the win total. I'm not going to lie to you. Of all the futures this season, I think this one is officially my favorite. And that's why we're betting it now. I'm almost positive this one. I can't think of another one that's better than this one right now. Because the Toronto Raptors quite possibly could be the worst team in the league. The Nets, okay, yes, this is, and maybe my Toronto's worst team in the league is. I mean, it shouldn't be a hot take, but because the Nets are probably so bad, and then I guess people are still going to think the Pistons are pretty bad too. Like, I guess it's kind of a little hot takey, but the Nets very much could be the worst team in the league. And I felt like for years that the Raptors needed to do a fire sale of this team. And then they did it, and they didn't get what I thought they would get or look any better. So they trade with the New York Knicks. They get RJ Barrett and Immanuel Quickley last season. They're gonna be two key players on this team, but I see them as role players. And I think that they're probably like Quick is definitely a six man on a championship team. For sure. Quick is 100% a six man on a championship team. When you start playing him, and they paid him, so they're gonna have to play him in the starting role, but, like, that's just not where I see him at long term. 1, for his health, 2, just his style of play, like, that energy he brings off the bench and that quick scoring, like, that's really, really useful in a six-man role. Yeah, you got Scottie Barnes there, and that's okay, but, like, there's no interior defense for this team at all. This team was horrible defensively after the trade. Absolutely horrible defensively after the trade. And they proceed to back that up the next season by having Kelly Olynyk and Jakob be their interior defense. And then they bring in Bruno Fernando, so, like, who are the bigs that are stopping anybody on this team? Who's defending the painted area? Bruce Brown, solid defender, but there's a good chance that Bruce Brown is probably traded by the trade deadline, don't you think? Bruce Brown is probably a really, really nice trade piece because this team is looking for the future. Like you hear it, Darko talk about it. Jakob said it in an interview. And he said the quiet part out loud that you probably shouldn't say, but he said, "Hey, we're spending this season to develop our talent." Of like we're trying to develop our talent they're not trying to win games. They're trying to see what they have on this team, figure out who can they cut ties with and how they can build for the future. And then you think, look how good Cooper Flag looks. I mean, all offseason they were talking about how he gave Team USA buckets. His stock is gonna go through the roof over the course of this college basketball season. You're telling me that this Toronto Raptors team, after starting the season, they start the season with uh let's see here. Cavs, 76ers, Timberwolves, Nuggets. Those are their first 4 games of the season. That's not a good start. It's probably not going to get much better from there. You're telling me that when Cooper Flag starts to take off in November, December area, where he really, really starts to take off, this team isn't just going to pack it in and say, all right, let's go tank for Flag, or we got to figure out what the little saying for Flag is. Blank for Flag. Somebody said pooper for Cooper or something like that. No, that I don't like that one, but we got to figure out what the little tag is. But everybody's going to be tanking for this kid, like everybody. And so we have a team that I question offensively in the sense of I know Immanuel Quickley can be a bucket. I know Scottie Barnes and RJ Barrett can step up for you in times. But outside of that, where are they getting this scoring from? Like, who is going to be a consistent scoring option for this team? And don't let any of the top 3 guys get hurt. Please don't, because then you really have nothing going for you. And add that on top that you don't play defense at all. This is going to be very, very ugly. for a lot of games for the Toronto Raptors. And then once they just see the writing on the wall, which it feels like they already see in the beginning of the season, they're not going to try anymore. And somehow, some way, they're expected to win 30 games. 30? Toronto Raptors under 29.5 on the win total. This is possibly one of my favorite win totals because I think this is going to be one of the worst defenses in the I said the W. I'm over here still stuck on women's basketball. This is going to be one of the worst defenses in the NBA. We'll see if they're able to keep up the scoring in any of the games, but I just don't see anything good at all. I don't even know how the Raptors get to 20 wins, let alone 30. So I'm gonna fade them. I think they're tanking. I think they're just going along with the season, trying to figure out how they're gonna rebuild this roster. This is a lost year. It doesn't seem like they made any offseason moves to even try to be competitive. They're just saying what they got, and what they got is not enough. So Toronto Raptors under 29.5 on the win total. That is my future. That is one of my favorite win totals of the season, and one that I'm 100% getting down on. And we'll wait till the end of the season when we cash. All right. Make sure you give me a follow at reallyreal__ and at BettingPros on X and TikTok, at BettingPros, at BettingPros NFL on Instagram, and YouTube.com/BettingPros. Hey, make sure you give me a 5-star rating and review. BettingPros.com/fast. You can get a chance to win that Alonzo Mourning signed jersey at the end of the month. Make sure you do that. BettingPros.com/fast to do that review. And yeah, that's really it. I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way to end the podcast. Just going to like this. I will be back with WNBA picks for game 2 this weekend. Let's get it back. We're out of here.